Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the PM and the AM show with my right-hand man, Mike Lauer. Good morning, Mike.
Glad to see you're back and refreshed and ready to go as usual. Of the things you people don't see before we go live.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mike, I had a lot of tossing and turning. Just
Oh,
getting back from vacation. I'm out at the Union game last night.
That was just last night, tossing and turning. Of course, that's the voice of God.
Yeah, it's our man, Alcifieri. He's getting us all riled up in the pants.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. And listen,
he quit.
So, geez, I don't even know where I want to go this morning. But anyway,
Neither does everybody else watching.
listen, big weekend from your Philadelphia Phillies. Again, yesterday, Friday night, they get shellacked a little bit after, Michael Lorenzen just got waffled on the plate. However, yesterday, better late than never, like Al said yesterday on the post-game show, because this Phillies team came alive. Nick Castellanos hitting a bomber, and Trey, the Terminator Turner, hits a deep, not one, but two. He had a direction, hitting 2 home runs to left. You had Bryson Stott with a home run. I mean, this offense was clicking in all cylinders, and I was so happy to see this offense come alive. I got to give Jake Irvin some credit because he was giving the Phillies some problems early. But however, they as soon as their bullpen came in, they took care of business, and it was over from there. Christopher Sanchez had a decent game. I mean, again, he doesn't have a fastball in his repertoire, but
Look at him with the SAT.
yeah, well, but however, his sinker and slider down and away had a lot of guys fishing. Some guys connecting in the 4th and 6th inning, but however, like I said, this offense came alive yesterday. Bryson Stott.
Time out.
What?
Weren't you ready to get rid of Turner? Like you had buyer's remorse like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
now all of a sudden you're pumping his price. See, this is what I'm talking about. You,
Hold
you with the flip flopping. Okay?
I'm not a flip flopper.
You're a fish out of water, bro. You flip more than a fish in a hot pan.
Mike, that was a month ago. I had every right to get on his back.
No, you didn't. Listen. We know what type of player Turner is. Okay, you are get him out of here. I want a refund.
Yeah,
the $300 million I want back. No damaged goods. This is another wasted year. Blah blah blah. Then
you were ready to give him a year. I couldn't wait that long.
Yeah, I was.
What happened to Nick Castellanos? I just gotta keep bringing
and who was right about that train? I'm sorry, I'll wait.
Pat, in real life, if you got the amount of time you gave people,
they'd be in and out of here.
The only thing you wouldn't get kicked out of is a buffet in the first round.
Yeah.
Listen,
dude, South Philly would have a revolving door on it if it was you. It would be. It'd be like you on a Saturday night on a go around.
Yeah.
But I'm serious, man. Like,
I'm a rhinestone cowboy.
Oh, now we got him singing. See, look, you give him a week off. Look, it's just he's special, ladies and gentlemen. Really special.
Well, listen,
I see where you're getting at. But I want to give, who I want to give credit to yesterday? Sanchez, Christopher Sanchez. He kept him in that game. Okay? I thought he pitched a really good game, and I thought the bullpen really kind of came in and locked it down.
Anytime your 5th starter, I always say this,
gives up less than 3 runs.
Gives you 3 runs or less. That's a good game, especially for this team that's built to bash.
Now, as far as the bats coming alive, it's cool because the amount of runs they put up in short amount of time. But to me, their offense is so inconsistent. Like they put up 12 runs, right? Now they had a 6-1 lead Friday night. They had a 6-1 lead Friday. I'm sorry. The Nationals are not world beaters. They don't have a ton of talent on that team, and they allowed that team to come back and beat them.
Well, you can't blame the offense on that.
Sure you can.
No, you can't. You blame Michael Lorenzen.
No.
Yeah. No. Did you watch the game? He gave up he had a bad ailment.
Yeah, he did. But that's why you have a bullpen. That's why you take him
out. Yeah, and the bullpen that was pretty bad. Greg Soto was stunk on Friday night.
Greg Soto's been stinking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but your offense went to sleep. It was 6-1 after the 4th inning.
I'll give you that.
Last time I checked, the baseball game's 9.
The
Phillies are the road team, so they get 9. They get a full 27.
Yeah, but like you said, but you were up 6-1. Like
doesn't matter.
That's a comfortable lead.
No, it's not a comfortable lead. You know what a comfortable lead is? Like 20-1. Like, that's a comfortable lead. That's where you can sit back and go, okay. Jonathan, welcome. Good afternoon over there in Germany. Hey,
Oh man, that's awesome. Good morning, Jonathan.
Man, TV must suck in Germany if you're tuning in this.
we provide quality entertainment over here.
Good morning, Fudge.
Foods, what's going on? But yeah, I mean,
So,
I'm sorry. I blame more of that Friday night game. What's up, Insanio? Our favorite Massholian.
Oh,
there it is. Sean Kilrain.
what's up, Shawnee?
But yeah, that Friday night's game.
Oh, speaking of Vegas,
Rob.
Come on.
The mayor of Las Vegas has
Call me
checked
the
in.
major flip-flopper. Come on.
Dude, listen.
He calls him as he sees him, baby.
Yeah. You know, the mayor doesn't get it wrong.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, I blame more of that on the offense. The Phillies got up and they just sat back and they stopped pressing. And this is what happens. Hopefully they learned from that, because this isn't the first time this year that they had a nice lead on somebody and they gave up.
And they collapsed.
So they gotta
Well, look,
keep putting teams away. Listen, Lorenzen was due to have a bad game, considering his first two starts. He went 8 innings, gave up one run in 8 innings, and then gave up a no-hitter the second one. So yeah, he was due for a letdown. It's going to bounce back. But if you look at his starts going forward, you'll do 2 for 1 every time.
Well, and you know, Ben Davis kind of said this on the broadcasting, like, this team is like strike out like crazy, but however, like the offense, when it gets going, it gets going. And I couldn't agree with him anymore, because again, that's why I kind of named the show like Heart and Soul Philadelphia, because there's guys here who are really, really trying to play hard. And you know, they say during the broadcasting yesterday, Kyle Schwarber is day and night staying at the cages, and then everyone gets on because he's only batted 162. But like Al said a few weeks ago, Ryan Howard didn't have the greatest batting average ever, but we all just
not as bad as his. Like,
not as bad. But I mean, you know, as long as he's putting the ball out of the yard, you're okay with it.
Yeah. How many home runs does Matt Olson have? Like, what's he got? Like 40, right? He just got 40 home runs. So he's around 40, maybe 41. Like, Kyle Schwarber's right there with him.
Right. And Kyle Schwarber is second in the league for walks. But like I said, I thought the game was kind of going to be in the bag already for the Nats to take it. I thought the Nationals were just being Nats for the Phillies. You know, after that fourth inning when they were down 3-0, I'm like, oh boy. And like you said, the inconsistency bats were just like they weren't making no contact. So I'm like,
everyone was pitching a great game.
Yeah,
he pitched a great game for them. Like, that's a guy that they can look forward to, I guess, in the future down there. But
his upper fast and curveballs were nasty.
Oh my god!
And the Phillies weren't making no contact. So
he put Jake Cave away.
Yeah, and then
bases loaded. That was something. Again, this has been an Achilles heel for the Phillies all year. They got to find a way to get that right if they're going to try to get into the postseason.
Yeah, and like you said, that's something they're definitely have to work on. But you know, again, I have to be happy seeing 11 runs in 2 innings. Like I said, Trey the Terminator Turner just driving balls to the left, and Bryson Stark coming up huge, and Nick Castellanos going 0 for 7, just turning things around again. Friday night, 4 strikeouts, and then you know, like I said, Friday night yesterday, just puts it away, just getting the rally going. And he crushes it. And can I say something? I think his son might have taken the Philly fanatic job. My man, that kid is at every Phillies game and pumping them up. And speaking of pumping up the Phillies, you see who was in the dugout yesterday, Mike?
No.
My man, Reese Hoskins. And I got to go back to Frank Franklin.
Everybody's his man now, suddenly.
Yeah, like everybody, wasn't they trying to get him out of town?
I
know. I got to give Frank Franklin credit. He said a few weeks ago, he said that, you know, he must be giving like this team in the locker rooms, like, you know, good motivation, because he was out there, you know, pumping these guys up, and these guys went nuts. So, and then of course Jake Cave yesterday in the ninth,
the caveman going deep. Al, can you bring up that one question again from Sean?
You mean the comment, not the question?
Right here? That one right here.
Yeah. Rangers on the DL for 15 days retroactively to back to Wednesday, and that's why you saw Bilotti.
Okay.
You know, so that's what he was trying to say.
So
with hamstring issues, you're not, especially this late in the season, you are not playing with that fire at all.
No. So the only deficiency I did see from the Phillies game yesterday was the infield defense. Alec Boehm had some bad errors. Trey Turner had some sloppy errors. Christopher Sanchez was making bad throws. But if you want to nitpick it for negativity, that would be your only one. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's better late than never. And the Phillies came up huge.
So can the
Huge.
Phillies still catch the Braves, or do you everybody think the Braves are running away with this division?
No, I've handed over months ago to the Braves, but that's okay.
I'm not.
But
I'm
that,
not
but
because you know what? The Braves, I don't know. For some odd reason, dude, the Phillies play the Braves tough. Like if you go back and look,
It's
literally
just
over the last 3 years,
Yeah.
the season series has been either the one team's gotten one more win than the other. It's been like that back and forth. So I'm not ready to give in on the division being lost, considering they got what? I think they got 12 games left with the Braves, or I think it's 8 to 12. I know they come here for 4, so they got it's at least a 7-game series. So they got at least 7 head to head. Now you're talking about making up 5 games.
oh man, well we'll see what happens.
And
But
the Braves got a tough schedule in September. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, listen, it's all going to be divisional
Joey
action.
Sullivan checking and says the
up?
division is lost.
Listen, I can see
Good
where
morning,
Joe's
Joe.
going, and I don't disagree with him to say, oh well, it's tough sledding because they're just not losing right now, and it is August 20th, guys. I mean, you have 11 days left in August, and then you have September, and that's it. So they would have to have a pretty good drop off for them. I mean, they're up 13 plus games. I don't even know what this
Should
point
I
we
is.
thought it was
be-
11.
I'll tell you right now.
Should we be more excited because they are beating up on that like a nice dominant performance like they had yesterday against the Nats, or we should be looking towards
13 and a half.
13. Oh yeah, never mind. I thought they were 11. That's why I thought they were close. Yeah,
2.5 game swing, huh?
yeah. 11's
They already have 80 wins.
Yeah, with a full month left to go.
And they don't.
Yeah, they would have to have a full collapse. But again, Atlanta to me,
They can go on a 10-game losing streak, and we can still not catch them.
No,
Yeah.
that's why I said I think it's lost, but it's okay. Like again, we can have
listen.
the same magic we had last year.
Listen, I'm looking at it like this: the 2 biggest fraud teams are the ones that are 1 and 2. I mean, one thing you can bet on is Atlanta's not going to get to the World Series, and neither are the Dodgers.
And the other thing you can bet on is Sherry'sTickets.com because there's no bet there. It is guaranteed lock. You go to Sherry'sTickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theater tickets, you name it, they got it. I don't care where you're at. Go to Sherry'sTickets.com. No hidden fees. You pay the price you see on the screen. Only difference with the pay is you've used that great promo code
EOP10.
EOP10 for 10% off. Go to Sherry'sTickets.com.
All right. Well, look, Phillies in a primetime game tonight.
Yes, a question: Does Schwarber go over to the little field, okay, and start taking batting practice over there? Maybe he can.
You mean bunting practice? Because that's all he would have to do in this case.
My boy Mike said the Braves are not the Mets. Well, the Braves are not the
I
Mets.
agree with him.
Maybe not in the regular season, but the Braves are definitely the biggest chokers in the postseason. Like I don't care what anybody says. I know they won it a couple of years ago. You know what they say. Even the sun shines on the dog's rear end every now and then. That's all that. And same thing with the Dodgers. Dodgers, they're teams that get to the postseason, but once they get there, they choke like Pat on a Saturday night.
Right, and it's a lot of goggling. So
Goggling?
yeah.
It's a new word.
Like, what do you do when you goggling? I actually couldn't. I don't want to know the answer.
I'll show
You want to bring? See, be careful what you wish for.
But look, the Phillies though they're in prime time tonight. It's been a little while since they've been in prime time. Again, heading out to the Little League World Series should be a fun, interesting matchup.
Did you see the jerseys for tonight?
No,
Dude, they're nice.
they're nice.
Phillies are wearing it's a dark blue with red Phillies going across, and then it's like a baby blue on the sleeves. So they're pretty decent looking. I didn't see the Nationals, but I heard theirs was pretty decent too.
Well, I mean, I'm looking towards it. I want to see what the Phillies can do tonight. Zach Wheeler will be back on the hill.
That's it. He's a guy I feel like's got to get a little
Just
a tad bit right more to keep going.
Zach Wheeler.
I feel like I feel like we haven't seen his best game yet this year. So
yeah, and like I said, I'm hoping he'll be money tonight. And Mike, I'm going to go back to what you said about Christopher Sanchez. I mean, yeah, he had a great game yesterday. Garrett Stone was on fire prior to, but he held Garrett Stone to only 1 hit. So I got to give him the credit for that. And of course, Abrams a guy who's been giving the Phillies fits for quite some time now, and he held him down too, 0 for 4
Yeah, yeah.
on Abrams.
His, like you said, his fastball is less to be desired, but his changeup and slider are nasty. And he was getting them, especially on the slider to right-handers. You just seen it; it was just dropping down and in, and they just weren't hitting it. So, I mean, to me, that's a plus going forward with the Phillies, especially because he's not going to. There's not going to be a fifth starter in the playoffs, so you're going to be able to get multiple innings out of him during different games, which that will benefit an already good Phillies bullpen. So I feel comfortable with that. The only problem is we got to get Nola right before we get to the playoffs.
Well, like you said, Mike, Christopher
That's
Sanchez
a
going
big,
to
that's a
become.
big if right there, Mike.
Maybe we
Yeah.
ought to give him a standing ovation. Let him know we love him too.
Well, Mike, you kind of nailed it with
We are the
Christopher
city of
Sanchez.
brotherly love. We
Yes.
love our athletes here.
Mike, you kind of nailed it with
Except
Christopher
for
Sanchez.
Pat does for about 12 minutes.
Fish out of water.
Yeah, you were right about Christopher Sanchez because if he comes out of that bullpen and replaces Greg Soto and give you nice 3 to 4 innings, you'll be fine.
Soto needs to be sent down. Like, go send him down for a week.
Yeah, and like
I
you
don't
said,
think you can afford to right now.
Yeah, that's true. The Alvarado injuries really been.
yeah, it's been
I mean,
a problem for the
they
Phils.
keep making it sound like he's going to be back next week. I heard it was going to be this weekend, and hope now I don't know.
Maybe he comes back today. I don't
The
know.
lingeringness of this injury doesn't bode well for me.
No.
So Al, take it away from me. What's your thoughts about the Phillies heading into Little League World Series tonight? Can they have another dominating performance like they did yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. They can have that any night, Pat. Any night they want. It's just I would hate. I hope I'm wrong, but I hope not that this is I blew my load in 3 innings situation because that's what tends to happen when they have these dominant innings, couple innings. I would like to see, and I think I talked about last night, like where the domination is inning through inning. Like, maybe they score 1 run in 1 inning, 2 runs in another inning, 3 runs in a different, like where it's consistently dominant through a whole game. They haven't had that in a long time. They either have tight games where they shouldn't have tight games, or they have last night's game where you're sitting there, don't tell me up into the 6th inning, you're like, oh, this is just a long game. This is going to be a long game for a loss against the Nationals. This is ridiculous. And then, the tying 3-run homer from Nick Castellanos, and then the 8-run 8th inning. And then JK put a little extra stank on it. We're just hoping it's not a complete, load being blown.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, and that game, what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Minnesota game last week. The Friday night game, Phillies go out and they spank Minnesota.
Right.
And they couldn't do nothing offensively the next 2 games. And to me, that really kind of chapped my buns a little bit here because Minnesota, I felt like was a team that the Phillies could definitely take 2 away. Pat's getting delivery here, as we see. So
no, Mike, and I want to piggyback off.
Don't piggyback on me. No, I don't know where you've been.
No, the problem is where he's been.
And you don't know when you're back.
That's the problem.
Well, I mean, like you were saying about the Phils, like, and Al too. The Phillies can have a strong innings, here and there, but it's not, and then it's like there's times they take the foot off the gas pedal, and they should just been playing really well. And for a team, I gotta say they're kind of overachieving right now because they, their power, one of their power bats go down for the whole year, and it's been small ball up the middle, and they've been getting some power bats, and like I said, none of us had the crystal ball in front of us to see the year that Bryson Stott's having. Like the kid is playing really good baseball. Even Castellanos, has really caught fire, and he's been playing very, very well. And then, like I said, I know, and I'm going to pull out 2 guys on here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network. My man Bill Furman and my man Matty B are not the biggest fans of Kyle Schwarber by any stretch. But however, you got to give the guy credit. When he gets fire, he gets fire. And again, he played really, really well on the outfield yesterday. He played small ball. He crushed the ball yesterday. So when he's on, he's on. And I get it. There's a lot of games he's off, and he's almost on back of the milk carton at times.
Well, listen, I'm sitting here looking at the current standings right now, and the Phillies really have a chance to really do some damage here. And what I mean by that is you got a 3-game set after this week.
What's up, Mike?
Mike says, no, Wheeler, Nolan, Suarez all need to be more consistent. The guy has to eat crow.
The guy, he's saying the guy he has to eat crow was Walker. He didn't think Walker was going to have.
But you know what, though? He's been kind of looking kind of suspect, too.
Well, listen, I think they all came down from reality, too. I mean, that June run was not going to.
Yeah.
No, and listen, we've complained about this prior to the MLB trade deadline. What does the Phillies need? We needed a bat or we need an arm. And I've been on the fence of we need an arm because I had this feeling that this show was not going to be a happy ending till the end. I feel like we need a more consistent arm in the starting rotation. That's been, if you want to talk about a gray area that the Phillies had, it's been the starting pitching.
Mike Fuji says, congratulations and let's go media. That's all right.
What's up, Mikey?
To them boys moving on. Yeah, but I'm sitting here looking at this. You got the Phillies right now with the number 1 spot. They're literally 3 games up on San Francisco. They're 3.5 up on Chicago and Cincinnati. They're 4 up on Arizona and Miami. And the hottest team out of that whole thing right now is Arizona. They're 7-3. The rest are either 500 or below. San Francisco's 2-8 right now in their last 10.
And the funny thing is the Giants are on a 3-game losing streak. They're going to try to come in here tomorrow and try and make. Listen, their season's on the line just like ours is. So again, Gabe Kapler is going to try to get these guys riled up and try to do a number on us. It's up to the Phillies.
I can't hear that speech.
Yeah. Why, Mr. Hefner? You tell me why you almost spilled your coffee.
Why not?
Why it's 5 o'clock
not?
in Vegas, and I'm pretty sure he's going, oh my God.
Yeah, can we give a round of applause?
For
2 people. Our guy from Germany and Rob Hefner. I
boy
appreciate
Mike,
all our listeners, but
and Mike too. Mike's from upstate. He's up in upstate New York. So
same time zone.
And our boy Insanio too up in
they're the same time zone.
Yeah, they're in the same. But I mean, Rob's getting up 5 o'clock in the morning. Either that or Rob just got home from the bar. Because Vegas, he probably went and got some breakfast from last night.
Yeah, why
just
not?
said, I'll just stay up.
What kind of breakfast is he getting?
Well,
of course,
probably a buffet.
Pat wants to know about
the buffet.
Yeah, but listen, I'm looking at this, right? And literally the 2 hottest teams in Major League Baseball have been the Dodgers and the Braves.
Right.
They're the 2 hottest teams. But like I said, who will be the 2 teams that will be eliminated
first
in the postseason? The Dodgers and the Braves.
Yeah, I don't believe in their
I
think they're going to come.
To me, the Dodgers and the Braves remind me of the Cowboys. They do. And it's
better be careful.
Well,
you're gonna incite. You're gonna get some Cowboy fans waking up from their slumbers.
Listen, if they follow
you bewitch the Cowboys fans.
Hey, look, I gave the Cowboys credit on my show Thursday night. I already said that I think Dallas is the second best team behind the Eagles, and I don't think the Eagles are that far ahead of them. So I literally have Dallas even, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you look at it, the reason why I'm saying that is just because every year there's always so much emphasis put on the Braves and the Dodgers for good reason. They are really good teams and they have good farm systems and they usually do have great years. But they crap the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah, they lose
time. Like they lose more.
They run out of steam.
They lose more than they win. And and I'm sorry, if you're a Dodgers fan, that's the first thing a Dodgers fan will tell you. We can't win the big one. Yeah, we won it in 20. That was a 60-game schedule. That was a little marathon. That was a sprint that they won. They'll get to a World Series, but then they crap the bed.
Yeah, they lose steam. So,
speaking of crap in the bed, go ahead, Pat.
No, I mean, like I said, it's going to be an interesting matchup coming tomorrow. When the Phillies got to face the Giants, and it's
the next 9 are pretty decent. I mean,
yeah.
They got the Cardinals coming in, but it's basically they got 3 with the Giants, 3 with the Cardinals, and then they finish out with the Angels.
Cardinals, I mean, no matter what their season looks like, they're always a tough outing. They always give the Phillies the fits. They're one of those teams like them, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins. No matter where they're at in the standings, they always give the Phillies the fit. So, like I said, though, I want to see what happens tonight. Again, if they could have another dominant performance. Again, Friday game, even though they lost, again, it still put up 6 runs early, to me, was a good sign. I felt like the pitching it fell short from Mike Lorenzen having a bad game to Greg Soto. I mean, your offense can only keep up for so much. So then, like yesterday, they struggled against Jake Irvin, and then they just completely go off on the bullpen yesterday. I mean, it got so bad for the Nationals. They had nobody after that kid was getting torched on the hill yesterday. They had nobody other than a fan. Literally,
Got
a fan.
nobody.
They got nobody. Even trying to get warmed up. I mean, other than a fan just going in circles. But anyway, um, the Phillies, though, like I said, I'm really happy to see 11 runs. I mean, Trey Turner going off yesterday, 2 home runs in 1 inning. Nick Castellanos kind of starting to rally. Again, you would talk about heart and soul. This guy has been heart and soul all this season. Yeah, Bryson Stott hitting a home run. Kyle Schwarber hitting a home run.
That Stott home run was nuts. That pitcher, they left that pitcher out on an island because he gave up 3 home runs in that inning.
Yeah.
2 to Turner, 1 to Stott. And you could just tell that pitcher was begging to be pulled from that game. Just go back and watch his face. After he gives up the second home run to Turner, he just looks over at his bullpen like, "Are you not saying I'm not having a good day here? You want to take me out?" They let him go, man.
Yeah. So I mean, just.
Are you gonna watch the game tonight, Pat?
Oh yeah. I might be on the post game. I don't know. I'm going to join it. I've been.
Oh, okay. He's just going to join in whenever he wants.
I'm like the NWO.
I just yeah.
You doing post game tonight?
No, actually,
Is
I
it
believe it's Matty B tonight. Yes.
Oh,
No, I know. It's
Pat's
just.
gonna jump in.
Oh, I love jumping in. So it's been a. I haven't covered Philly sports. I haven't done a Phillies post game for a while, man. I'm hungry. I'm itching to talk Philly
They
sports.
make a medicine.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a topical cream that can handle that.
I think.
And also, if you have any other troubles in your life, I go to David R. Cherry, cherryinjurylaw.com. He's the topical cream for workers' comp, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. I got Mike real good on that one. 610-565-0300. Cherryinjurylaw.com. David R. Cherry will fight for your rights. And let me tell you guys, workers' comp and motor vehicle and personal injuries are life-altering situations. So don't wait. Pick up that phone, call 610-565-0300, or simply go to cherryinjurylaw.com.
So, and if they win tonight, again, you win the series, you go in, you're feeling good, you're at home against San Fran. You just but however though, what's his ugly face? Gabe Kapler does have the Phillies number though. So again, someone who knows his Phillies team very, very well. You're just going to have to learn.
Luckily, we're not in San Fran because this team always seems to flounder. I don't care if it's Gabe Kapler or not.
Yeah.
In San
You
Fran.
could be managing the Giants and the Phillies would lose 2 or 3 out there. It's just something to do with that ballpark. They don't play well there. It's one of the historical places where they don't play well at. I don't know, man. I'll worry about tomorrow. About tomorrow.
We'll talk Phillies at another time because right now.
3.
Oh, you didn't answer.
All right.
I'll try it again.
Yeah, give us a second. We are going to get ready to talk.
All right. Before we get our guest on, let's just finish this Phillies thing out real quick. I'm looking tonight. I'm looking for the brats, as they're called, the daycare. I think the daycare is going to help this team tonight. Bohm, Stott. I think they'll be a key into tonight.
Yeah, well, listen, Mike, we'll talk Phillies at another time because on the phone lines with us right now is a good guy I met back in Memorial Day weekend for some Penn State lacrosse. Is my man Mike Bloger. Am I saying that right, Mike? Did I butcher it already, Mike?
Mike Bulger, yeah.
All right, Mike.
Got it. He's really close.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad. Listen, good morning, Mike. So, listen, buddy, Penn State football is right around the corner, and we're trying to get a feel on this team. What are they going to look like? What's your overall feel about the Philadelphia, the Penn State Nittany Lions?
Yeah, man, 13 days away. I mean, this team is looking really, really good. James Franklin has said it himself. The depth on this team has never looked any better, and you can just look at it across the defensive side. You look at that defensive line headed by Isaiah Zanuck and Chuck Robinson. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. The real big question about the defensive line is the interior. But when you got guys like Abdul Carter and Curtis Jacobs to fill those holes, I mean, really, the questions fade away. And the secondary just speaks for itself. You don't really need to look at it too much. There's guys like Jalen King there. I mean, it's just absolutely insane what they've been able to do. And then on the offensive side, man, I mean, the offensive line is just absolutely stacked. And really, the big question is, well, who's going to be the wide receiver number 3, and how good is Drew Aller going to be?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, how's it going? This is Mike. I am a diehard Penn State guy. I watch all the games. My question to you is, and we have to start at the top. James Franklin, does
Yep.
he take? I don't know about you, but I'm sick of every year of getting off to a fast start, and then we either run into Michigan or Ohio State, and it puts us back. Do you feel like James Franklin is the right guy to lead this program forward?
Yeah, it's definitely been a big question throughout the years. You know, his recruiting has been off the charts, but when it comes down to the coaching part, especially off the bye week, you know, it's been a lot of questions around him. And luckily for Penn State this year, they faced UMass out of the bye, so a little bit of an easier game to come out of. And I think that that's going to help them continue to stay on that hot roll that you guys were talking about in the beginning of the season. And you know, you have Michigan at home in front of the fans. And trust me, with James Franklin, he's going to know when he's messing up in front of the fans against Michigan. And really, it's bothered him a little bit because if some press conferences, he's definitely said that you know, he hears the fans, he hears what they're saying, he hears all the questions around him, but it seems like it just doesn't shake him too much. So when it comes down to it, James Franklin right now is the guy to lead the squad. And again, with all the experience that he had, taking over this team with everything that just happened, you know, I don't think that Penn State will want anybody else at the helm.
Okay. Now, talking about the offense, the three-headed monster that they had a year ago with Singleton, Allen, and Lee. Do you see that being a force going forward? I believe I believe Lee is still a part of that team. I didn't hear nothing about him transferring out.
Yeah, he actually did transfer a
Oh, he
couple
did.
months ago,
Oh,
but yeah, they're still going to have Nick Singleton and
and
Katron Allen. And the disrespect across social media that I've seen against Katron Allen is enormous. I mean,
that
this
kid
kid
is
was
he's
absolutely insane
yeah.
with Nick Singleton, and you know,
So
to
Kevon Lee
put
did
the production that
he
he
did
had.
transfer out. Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about that. But yeah, Allen to me, I thought him and Singleton were just a great one-two punch a year ago, along with Lee. Um,
Yeah.
so with that going forward, I think to be honest with you, do you feel like that's going to help Drew Lars' progression this year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can rely on the run game like they can, again, with tight ends like Theo Johnson, Tyler Warren. I mean, and the O line, as good as they are, going to be dominant throughout the run game, and it's going to take a ton of pressure off of Aller.
Okay. I got one more or two more questions for you. One, does Penn State will they measure up with Ohio State and Michigan this year? Do you feel like Penn State could be that team to beat out of the Big Ten, East or North or whatever division that is?
Out of from every year, I'd have to say from the past 3 years, yes, this is what's by far their best chance to go out and beat either one of those teams, especially since they have Michigan at home, and that's probably the tougher team out of the three. With Ohio State still, you know, rotating their new quarterback in and everything like that, and trying to get settled in. So really, it just comes down to how much of an impact is Beaver Stadium going to be against Michigan, and can Aller perform in front of the fans with the pressure on him? And I think that when you look at it all, you look at the depth, I feel like the team around him himself can really compete against Michigan to the top. It's just going to come down to, you know, that third and fourth quarter where Sean Clifford last year just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it's real funny. I actually gave Sean Clifford a nickname. We called him what is it, the kid that went to college for like 8 years. Was it
Van Wilder.
Van Wilder? Yeah, that was my nickname for Sean Clifford because he was at Penn State for so long. But speaking of Penn State, right now they're kind of tied for eighth in the nation before they get started. Do they make the top 8 this year and get into that postseason?
I think that there is a little bit of overhype around the team at the moment, only because we haven't fully seen what Drew Aller is capable of. Because last year, I mean, he only took 60 passes. So really, when you look at it, is being ranked number 8 with a fresh new quarterback under helm, it's definitely questionable. But with the schedule that they have and with the potential of the squad, I do believe that this team could possibly end up at number 6 or number 5 by the end of the season.
Right. So that means pretty much got them penciled in then to be in the BCS. I believe the BCS goes to 8 playoff teams this year. I believe, right?
No, it does not. It still has 4, and then I believe that 2025 or 2024, excuse me, is when it
Oh,
comes into
2024 is when it goes to 8 teams. Okay, so you're looking at them
Yep.
being just right outside the top 4 for
Yeah, it
making
just
it.
seems appropriate for them.
Okay. Well, like I said, Mike,
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead, Pat.
so, Mike, not just too long ago, maybe the last 12 to 14 hours, uh, Messiah Mickens has committed to Penn State, for the next few years. What's your take on that?
Oh, a huge, huge running back. One time we got that James Franklin, it's time Twitter post, we all went flying off the walls because we were like, wow, this 2024 class is already done. What could he be doing right now? And then we saw the 2026 class. They got added that absolutely stud of a running back. And it's just going to keep going because when you look at it, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, I believe one of them is going to go to the NFL draft this year, so one of them is going to leave. And then Katron Allen most likely will be the guy that stays here at Penn State. And they still got a couple good recruits coming in. And then, of course, you get Isaiah coming in, and it's just going to be an absolutely insane running back. And I already see people around here calling it running back university.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing for sure. I mean, the last few years, man. I mean, Penn State has developed some great running backs, and of course, uh, we all know, some of the great guys, some of the big talent that he has coming out of there. Um, like a Miles Sanders and such. So, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year to see what this Penn State team can do. We're fired up here. Me and Mike here are big time Penn State fans. Like I said, it was great to hang out with you in the press box and get to talk some Penn State football with you. So, what's your opening? How do you feel they're going to do on opening day for Penn State football?
The first drive is probably going to be rusty, like every other team's drive is. But I think once when Drew Field's fans, it's a night game at home to open up the weekend, so that place is going to be absolutely buzzing from the start. And so once when you get that going, it should be an absolute blowout victory for the Penn State and the Lions, and it should be an exciting one to cover.
Wow, you say a blowout? Oh, they open up with West Virginia, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I believe it will be
I'm a little bit of an older guy, man. So I remember back when Penn State used to play West Virginia on a quite frequent basis, man. So there's a little bit of history there, man. And I think them boys from Morgantown will be ready to play. I don't think they'll be ready. I don't know about, I don't know. I mean, I could see Penn State pulling away late in the game, but I think West Virginia will definitely give them the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think the line opened up at like -20 for Penn State, so it's definitely the expectations are huge for Penn State to actually blow them out of the water. But
Wow.
we'll always see. It can always change.
Yeah, I mean, open it up -20. Yeah, that would. I guess that's just where the money's moving. So, but I just knowing how that rivalry is. I mean, a lot of people don't really think about Penn State, West Virginia being a rivalry, but it was at one point in time, just like Penn State and Pitt, and Pitt, West Virginia, like it was that triangle right there. So, but I don't know. I think right now the one game I got circled on my map is Ohio State when they go to Columbus. To me, James Franklin's got to win there. To be honest with you, I haven't been the biggest James Franklin fan. I feel like he doesn't make good in-game adjustments. And I felt like last year he kind of let Manny's defense kind of suffered a bit with some of the decisions he made.
Yeah, absolutely, he's a little stubborn in that type of aspect, and absolutely, I would pick Ohio State any day of the week because if they win that, honestly, I'm sending them to the playoffs immediately. So that Ohio State game is going to be huge. And of course, the Michigan game has its own aspect to it all. But on the road in the shoe, I mean, it's going to be absolutely rough.
It always seems to me with the Nittany Lions, and this is something that I've taken away over the last probably 5 years, especially with James Franklin, is they're good up until they get that first loss. And once they get that first loss, you already know somewhere down the line in some game like an Indiana or a Iowa or a Nebraska, like somewhere down the line, they're going to end up tripping up against one of those teams. And that's kind of how it's been with them over the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, normally when that first loss comes by, it's just a trickle effect at that point. And that 2021 season was rough for the squad. I think that at this point, with the recovery and the experience that they have across, that they should be able to rebound and regather before that crucial point in the season where they need to turn something around. So
Yeah, well, Mike, like I said, we're excited for some Penn State football to come through. Like I said, opening day against West Virginia. I'm with you. I think the Penn State's going to take care of business. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we can't wait for things to get started here. So, Mike, I want to say thanks for taking a few minutes to join us, and let's go. We are. You know what I mean? And me and Mike looking to hop up there to Beaver Stadium to come and check out a couple of the games.
yeah, absolutely. Hope to see you up here. It's great talking to you, boys.
Thanks,
Well,
Mike.
Thanks for
Mike.
joining us, Mike, man. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll get back in touch with you during the season, see how this thing's going.
We're good. He's off.
Well, so that was an interesting aspect. So we'll see how they do as far as
And if Mike's ever watched any of our previous shows from last year about he will probably say I am not the biggest James Franklin fan in the world.
Yeah, I know.
He said, Steve says, sorry guys, but go Blue. Yeah, Blue can go right down. Wolverine fans approved the contract. Frank, you guys are stuck with Harbaugh.
Well, Mike,
Hold on, one thing is one thing I approve is PhillySportsTrips.com. After that great interview, guys, talking a little Penn State football, I got to talk football a little bit more because all the away games for your Philadelphia Eagles, as well as home tailgates, are now available. So all 17 games, Philly Sports Trips got something for you. If you want to go to that first game in New England, tough luck, ladies and gentlemen. You waited too long. They sell out, and they sell out fast because they have a ton of spots. That tells you how popular PhillySportsTrips.com is. So you're going to get there. The next available away trip, is the Tampa trip. Hollis Thomas, Vince Papale, David Akers, you name it, they got it. What a great experience. And going to the tailgates, let me tell you something. Great deal, great food, great drink, super convenient because it's right there at the live casino. So you don't have to lug any of the barbecue equipment with you. You just sign up, go there, party with a bunch of Eagles fans. There's always people dropping by. I know E-Rock's usually DJing today. It is the ready-made tailgate for real Philly fans. So check it out, PhillySportsTrips.com. Plus, they have a lot of other great trips. They're not just Eagles-related. Flyers, Phillies, Sixers, all that. You name it, they got it, and more at PhillySportsTrips.com.
Well, Mike, now let's we'll stay talking football, but it won't be Penn State. We're going to be talking some Philadelphia Eagles. So, Mike, again, game 2, what stood out to you?
Mariota can't play. Like I can't watch him.
I did the post game with Dibes on that one.
God bless you.
And yeah, well, it was
there you go, Nora.
It was torturous, but somebody brought something up. I'm sorry if I don't remember their name for this one. I should have wrote it down. But they brought something up because I didn't think about with Hawaii, what they're dealing with all the stuff over there, and somebody said, well, maybe Mariota's head somewhere else right now, and I'm like, you know what? He's got family over there. I really didn't think that. So I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not giving him a pass in any which way because right now he is sucking big time. I always like to forget that. I try not to forget the human factor of the situation. I mean, we talked about last year with Nick Castellanos where he had to kind of get used to a new city, get his family situated, and maybe he wasn't 100% there in his head, and a lot of pressure coming into Philly. That's the one thing is it's great to play for Philly, but you're under a lot of pressure. So I play a little bit of that into that factor. But Tanner McKee is putting on a reason to think maybe quarterback number 2.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, too. Trey Sermon's making a case for himself to get Rashad Penny out of here. Like
5 carries, 54 yards, 1 touchdown.
Listen, he scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Now he did have a big fumble in the game.
Also had a touchdown.
But he
what-
also came back and scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
Now he's a little banged up now. He's dealing with an ankle injury.
It's either ankle or head injuries. I've never seen the card out that much in 1 year.
Yeah, what's it? Tyreek
let
Cleveland.
alone one
game.
preseason game.
Tyreek Cleveland, Zach McPherson are done for the year.
Oh.
So they
Let me
got
ask you a
waived.
question. Were you watching any other games last night?
No, I didn't watch anything last night.
I'm wondering because I was reading something and I was doing the post game show and getting my notes together and something popped up. Did they stop a preseason game kind of like they did the Buffalo Bengals game because somebody got injured?
I don't know.
I was New England.
I mean, the only game that I could think of that was probably going on that late was the Cowboys Seahawks.
No, I think it was maybe New England and New England play.
Oh yeah. I did see something with that New England and
Rams and Raiders were playing too.
Rams and Raiders played last night too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I know the late game was Dallas and Seattle. Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm reading it right now. Patriots rookie release from Green Bay Hospital will travel home due to the game was postponed.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean Tyree Jackson had 2 receptions and 41 yards. He got 2 targets. But yeah, Mike, like you said, the running game, Trey Sermon absolutely making a case for himself. Tanner McKee making a case for himself, should be QB2 in my eyes. It's funny because Howard Roseman loves himself some mobile quarterback, but when he finds himself a diamond rough with
He
a
locks himself there some mobile quarterback.
yeah, but when he finds himself a good pocket passer and like this Tanner McKee, and Al, you said this, I believe Wednesday night, or Thursday night with Dives, he is Nick Foley-esque, and
let me because so they don't take that. I don't want to get the hate comments just yet. I said he's Nick Folesian in the sense of how he plays and how he's calm, cool, and composed in the pocket. And he is. I think when you bring Mariota in, you're bringing in a guy who can duplicate maybe a poor man's Jalen Hurts, a Walmart brand Jalen Hurts, who you don't have to change the entire scheme for him. But I mean, again, Tanner McKee has kind of like Carson Wentz played his style. Nick Foles had to play his style.
Yeah, but Nick Foles, I mean, granted, Nick Foles ran this same exact offense, other than Nick don't run. I mean, he knows how to do the RPO stuff. Dives, what's up?
what's up, Dives?
But to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking more at the defensive side of the ball. I'm loving Christian Ellis for our linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this kid has made his mark to sign. I think, to be honest with you, I think him and Dean are going to start. I think their backups are going to be Cunningham and Morrow. I think Morrow makes the team because Morrow. A lot of people were saying, Morrow, kind of didn't have a good game this past week. Well, he had a great game in Baltimore, and he was around the ball. He was flying downhill. I don't think Miles Jacks makes this team. I think Miles Jacks is going to get cut. I also like the emergence of Eli Ricks. I think he's a guy with Zach McPherson going down and possibly going to be out for the year. The Eagles, believe it or not, man, they have a plethora of defensive backs now. We went from something that we weren't sure of. You take a look at guys like Josh Jobe turned it around. The kid from last year with Isaiah Scott. He's getting more and more comfortable. You know what I mean?
And Mike, speaking of
Sidney
defense,
Sidney Brown.
Kobe Dean was, again, he's 6'3", but still, just creating havoc back there. And Sidney Brown, like you said last week, being a hot-seeking missile, this kid is looking to make this team.
Yeah,
listen,
he may not be a starter week 1, but I guarantee you by midway through the season, he'll be the starter.
Or that'll be definitely in the rotations,
You know what I mean?
For some big plays.
Can you imagine though? Like, stop and think about it, because Reed Blankenship, who was the guy who was undrafted, we watched last year, that dude was a heat-seeking missile. Now you got 2 of them back there. I'm not Tremaine Edwards. I'm looking at him like, okay, he's nice. Evans. I like Evans too. I think Evans too. I would keep him because I think the odd man out, believe it or not, has been a guy who's had a really, really good camp. But I think it's just going to be a numbers game. I think Kevon Wallace gets cut.
Right, and that, and like I said, back to Tanner McKee. just like Dive said, maybe back in Stanford, he didn't have the O-line, that kind of protect him, but Dive said he's seen this in this kid. So, and I think, he, again, just being poised back there and letting the game come to him and reading defenses quickly. And I don't think, to an extent, I kind of agree with you. Maybe there's something going on in Mario's head, but I think he's overthinking about this game.
It's definitely between the ears with him. I mean, unless the man's arm just fell apart, because all that has worked for him so far has been his leg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like he's missed guys wide open.
Overthrown balls, guys on out routes, easy plays, and he's not connecting. So again, he might be getting bumped down to QB.
I just have one question for the room. Does Greg Ward make the team?
Probably not. And unfortunately, this man hasn't missed except for one ball. I think all preseason so far.
I think he does. I think Britton Covey's gone.
Outside of injury, it's just he didn't make the team last year.
No,
well, he was hurt last year. That's why he didn't make the team. So
he wasn't hurt in the beginning of the year, was he?
Yeah, he got hurt in training camp last year.
Oh, that's right, he did.
So, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I think is going to happen to Britton Covey. I think Ward's going to make it. I think because
I like Greg Ward. I just don't know.
And Greg Ward can go back and do punts and kickoffs. So I mean, he's versatile there. And if something should happen, you can throw him in a quarterback.
Well, that's why I said I think I said that on the post game. I said this because we were talking about on the bubble. Or no, on Wednesday with Joey and Fred. I was talking to them, and we said, I said, does the only that maybe his saving grace is the fact that he is our auxiliary quarterback. But now that you can carry three, that's a different story.
San Francisco carried 4, and they still didn't have one to finish the game. So I'm going to keep taking shots at them all year. One of those 2 bozos out on the radio out there, the ones that rewrote "Fly Eagles Fly" to "Cry Eagles Cry."
Yeah. Oh, the San Francisco radio guy.
Yeah. I would really love to get them on and just
wait a minute. It's not a bad idea. I mean, I know it's on air, but let's talk about that. Let's reach out to them.
I
would. I would get their name.
I already got all that.
Get all their information. Reach out the right way. Reach out through the radio station and be like, "Hey guys, we would love to do an interview with you before the week of the San Fran and Eagles game, and talk about. Let you guys and make it serious. Let you guys talk about your reactions and why you guys don't call it say butthurt, but why you guys have." Remains so butthurt about this situation. And
hold on, don't use butthurt, but say why you guys remain so butthurt.
I'm going to say, ask them in a nice way. Why have you guys not let it go and feel like you've been wronged? The only thing you got wronged was you should have never showed up that day.
The only thing that was wrong was your all-star choking head coach decided to take a third-string tight end and block one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and you didn't bring enough quarterbacks. If you knew Purdy was your guy, sign somebody. You should have had somebody in the wings just in case. This defense was coming. Did you guys really think? And that whole takeover thing, Jesus God, buddy. I'm as much as you guys want to nab on Philly, we've never had a death in our city at an Eagles game.
I was going to say.
Not at an Eagles game.
I was going to say, hold on. Yes, okay, I'll go with that.
No Eagles fan has killed an opposing fan here.
It's not even just that. There is rabid fans wherever you go for the most part. Maybe Jacksonville.
Listen, we are the nation's whipping boy.
We are the
and we're always going to be. So that's never going to change.
That was the exact term I would say I was going to use is whipping boy.
Great point. They're doing the wave, right? The other night when Tyree Cleveland's down, the wave's going around. Mind you, it is an August night. It's a preseason game, and the national media wants to go out and make something of it. Nobody knew that the young man was seriously hurt. They just thought, oh, okay, he dropped the ball. They started doing the way. They're all having fun, and yet the national media right away. Oh, look at these Philly fans. They're doing the wave while one of their guys are down.
Well, like I said, you're never going to change the minds. Like I said,
we're the whipping boys. We are the nation's whipping boys.
If you go anywhere outside of Philadelphia, you're going to be looked at as an animal. If I'm pretty sure you guys have been to other places, you looked at you're like
Christ, I'm in my household. I'm looked at like an animal,
right?
Well, I
And
don't know, man. I kind of seen you around a box of
Yeah.
Nestle, Lucky Charms, man.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
I mean, I know it's. I'm not blaming them per se. I'm just
right,
saying.
I mean, I
I
had
have
a
looked at that way.
Pat
Nonetheless.
looks like an animal anytime he's around meat. So see,
I mean,
But,
seriously.
no,
We
I
know
just
what an animal sounds. Actually, that's not even what a real animal. I mean, cartoon cat, maybe. I don't know.
check please.
no, I just remember, like I said, just being down dizzy and being looked at as soon as
Yeah,
it.
of course. How the hell do you get into a fight? Almost get into a fight in Disney.
Well,
You know what? In Pat's defense, it's very possible.
yeah, well, listen, again, when that train car pulls up in front of you and they saw me with my Eagles gear on right away. Yeah, we got an Eagles fan on here. Boo, and they start chirping. Like, I went down during an Eagles game, and they're like, the Eagles are losing, right? The Eagles are like, they couldn't wait to tell me that the Eagles were losing. I said, bro, I'm on vacation. And then, like, I'm in the animal kingdom with my son, and all I hear is,
Right at home.
and I hear,
It smelled. It disguised his smell a little bit.
right? And I'm sitting there with my son. I'm like, yeah, looking at the animals and pointing. I hear, Eagles suck. And right away, my eyes go from, just hazel to, Hulk green. And I'm just fisting up like this. And I turn around, I see this dude in an Eli Manning jersey. And I was a Giants fan. And me and this dude are like this, talking trash to each other. And Monique's going, oh my God, can we leave? Can we leave? Can we leave? You're embarrassing me. I said, no, he started me. He drew first blood. I went rainbow on him.
He drew for
He drew first blood.
big city shit cop.
So anyway, we're always going to look like as an animal, no matter how positive and all the good things we've done in the city. Not to the outside world. The outside world, we're just a bunch of crumb bags.
Well, listen, I'll play the role of the heel.
Oh, I love being a bad guy.
Yeah, listen, you want to do that? Rob says.
There goes our man Gus.
Screw San Fran. Gus says someone got killed after a Union game at Geno's. Yeah, but
that's a Union game.
No, hold on.
That's somebody from Chester.
Time out. You went to Geno's, and no offense, but the Union game is nowhere near Geno's.
Yeah,
it's not like it's South Philly and you traveled over it. It's in Chester, Delaware County. I mean, that's like just saying, well, somebody was at a Phillies game and somebody got shot at a Wawa in Delco. I mean, does that have to go hand in hand? I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, Gus. I'm just saying, I it's a stretch. It's a stretch. Just another. Oh yeah, and then he says, it may be unrelated, but that's my point. Is like I don't.
All I'm saying is you never saw, even as crazy as the vet was. Yes, there was fist fights at the vet. You never heard of a guy wearing an opposing team's jersey, even at the vet. They didn't die.
You got thumped. You
got your ass
You
kicked.
might have felt like you wanted to when you got done. But
I've heard some horror stories.
I bet, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
and that's what I get. That's what I get mad about because, these guys, and I'll bring up San Francisco. They go out there and they stomp on I believe it was a Seahawks fan that they came down from Seattle to watch the game. Dude, like 6 guys jumped them.
But yeah, anyways, like I said, and that's
it's okay for Braves fans to throw bottles on the field and White Sox fans to beat up a first base coach. Yeah, nothing than that ever gets managed.
Yeah. So, and Mike, and speaking of, like I said, I started the show off hot with the Phillies because they played really well. However, there's another piece of drama in this city it's just been carrying over for like over a week now. Now, Al, I've heard you, I've heard Dives, I heard Mike. And by the way, guys, Mike did a great job with his own show, Mike's Locker Room, Thursday nights. Now we'll be back at 7:00, his normal time.
No, 6:00 this week.
We'll be back.
Another Eagles game.
The game's at 8.
It's at 8.
I looked at the schedule and I built the schedule last night. I'll have a preview for it.
All right, so yeah, probably. I'll lead you in the kickoff.
So, but my problem is this James Harden thing that has shooken. It's become the major storyline here in Philadelphia sports. It's like the tail end of our summer, right? We had the Flyers, turn their thing around. We had Trey Turner storyline. Now we have this James Harden storyline that's been boggling my mind all week. Like, I'm trying to be on vacation. I'm hearing both sides of the story, whether it's Morley, whether it's Harden. And my take is this. Morley is more at fault here because you asked the guy to take a pay cut, which he did, but you knew what you got bringing here. You brought in a player that you knew was going to be useless, like a traffic cone in playoff time. So again, he stood around on that perimeter, did absolutely nothing, did nothing for you in that second round. Didn't help you bail you out in any kind of situation. Just stood there on the perimeter like a useless traffic cone. Didn't help you at all. And your MVP, of course, has got to stick his nose in and defend it, and that's good. You want to stick up for your boy. I understand that. You guys have become good friends. However, stay out of this. You need to stay out of this and worry about your game because the Joker has made you look like a clown. The Joker made you look like a clown. You got MVP. Yay. You know what happens? The Joker got the last laugh by hosting the NBA Finals Championship over your head. How's that feel? So you need to worry about your game. Number two, like I said, James Harden and this Morey thing. Like, I understand the guy lied to you, but bro, you got to step your game up. You need to step your game up. And at the end of the day, like, Doc Rivers must be laughing at this. Ha, you fired the problem? Ha, look who's the problem now. Look who's the problem now. And on top of that, like I was listening to you too on Wednesday, like, what if you're Nick Nurse? How are you thinking about this? Is a team that you're going to have to cover and coach.
If you're a fan thinking about going to one single game, why would you think about like this? This team has at every crossroad, every year has given us a chance to turn our backs on it.
Right.
This organization is so out of touch with this city. It is beyond disgusting.
Right, and like I said, if you're Nick Nurse getting ready to coach this, like, how do you not have a bottle of vodka right next to you? Because you're going to have to coach this mess. You're going to have to deal with all this drama, and just to say it's not a players' league, hell, it's not, because now the players are crying about the GM, and they're it's a constant battle between the front office and the player, and the coach is just sitting there like dumbfounded.
Listen, I said it Thursday night. What has James Harden showed you for him to warrant a 4-year max contract? I'm sorry, he hasn't done nothing. I had a couple guys. We had a couple guys up at the spot at the job trying to talk to us, and the one guy said, "Oh, he went out and did this in Game 3 and in Game 1." Okay, what did he do? What did he do in the other previous 8 games?
What happened? What did he do when the game mattered?
Exactly. I said, where was he Game 6 at home? I said, they were home. I said, that Boston Celtics team was praying to be beaten. I said, and him and Embiid disappeared. I've been saying it since February that we should be trading Embiid. Everybody on here, Gus, and everybody else who decided to went to you, the Patterson Ave guys who took shots, who I said, get him out of here. Yeah. You're never going to win with Joel Embiid. You're not going to win. The dude doesn't have he don't have it in here. He has it in here. He wants to be labeled the best, but when it comes time for him to elevate his game, he shrinks up like a turtle. You guys got no heart. None.
Third coach now. Third coach.
How many more coaches you going to need?
Right.
How many more coaches? I mean, I'm tired of it.
And like to be honest, like what positivity have we talked about the Sixers?
And he's sitting here talking about Morey.
Right, and like, what positivity have we talked about the Sixers since the second round knockout?
Nothing. It's been
nothing.
It's been
a wet dream thing about Damian Lillard coming here, and that's all it's been. Other than that,
this entire run for a while has been a wet dream. We talked about LeBron years ago. We talked about Damian Lillard coming here. We always talk about some sort of savior coming here
to help bail out Embiid. And
I'm not saying about bailing out Embiid, but nobody wants to be part of this organization. Now, Steve puts up here, I want to talk about this point for a second. Lots of context, lots of out of context stuff with Harden's situation. End of the day, Harden took a cut, but now no one wants to pay him. So it's all a wash as far as I'm concerned. Steve, I'm going to push back on that comment for a minute. He took a pay, fine, good. He lost a couple $1 million. Sorry to hear that, but he did take a pay cut. And maybe this is where I did put a lot of blame on Daryl Morey because I felt maybe he promised him something that he didn't do.
Right.
Now, if depending on what that promise was, hey, we're going to pay you. Like maybe he said, we're going to pay you a lot. Like we're going to pay you. And he didn't do that. Or we're going to trade you to wherever you want to go. And he didn't do that. And he's upset about it.
Too bad.
So if Daryl Morey promised him something, a verbal contract is what it is. But James Harden should look deep down at himself, who's looking for a max contract, and nobody wants your ass.
Right, exactly.
Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like,
right, I said this the other night. I'm like, there's nobody wanted him, dude. Nobody.
Well, that's right, and
not even Houston. He was linked to Houston for how long this year?
And anyway, we had Sean Bernard on EOP Live the other day.
Yeah.
And he pointed something out that was pretty good, too. Think about it. If this guy wanted to be in Philly, he really wanted to be here. He wasn't trying to push himself out. It's been since gosh darn freaking Christmas. We've been hearing about, Houston's looking to bring back James Harden.
Yes, remember that rumor got flopped around.
And I'm like, and he goes, if he wanted to stay in Philly and he wanted to sign a big contract with Philly, that would have not been necessary. But it's been a goddamn mind game ever since then. And him and Daryl Morey started it then. We just didn't know where it was until now.
And I'm sorry, if I'm Daryl Morey, after watching Game 6 and Game 7 of a year ago, I am not resigning him. I'm not resigning him. You know what? Take your ass and walk. You opted in. You're going to play. If you don't play, guess what? When you decide to come back and play, you're going to still be under our rights. We'll hold you till you're 50.
And Dibes and Sean both put out some stats the other day, or like when this dropped, about James Harden, about the game, this series against Boston. Yeah, there was 2 games. If it wasn't for James, we would have been out.
I agree, guys.
But is it also at the same time when there's not that pressure, when there's no last chance for romance type situation, that he doesn't turtle? He doesn't come up floppy, because that's what he did, my friend.
Yeah, and again, I can't take it. I mean, like, Daryl Morey knew what he got himself into by bringing this guy in. It's not like he was going to, be, this James Harden, like he went to the Fountain of Youth and found himself, again, he was going to be this big playmaker. If anything, Doc Rivers got the best of him because he was the best facilitator in the NBA in the regular season. But after that, playoff time, he shriveled up. He came out of the water shriveled up. And that's not good. Because
this, I'll agree with you, Steve.
Preconceived theater.
Yeah, I'm tired of it too. Like, this team, listen, people keep saying when it's Philly fans, when it's Sixers fans become so soft with the process and all that stuff. It's a good question, but at the same time, is it soft to sit there and have to swallow shit day in and day out?
Yeah, especially with this team.
I mean, and it's not just this team recently. It's since the beginning of the process. You had to watch horrible players come through here. You had to watch this team fold on purpose. Then when you start to get to watch this team, you had to deal with Ben Simmons BS. You had to deal with even Joel Embiid's baby back BS at times. Then it's a James Harden crap.
So what you're alluding to, and it comes back to square one, the process was a waste of time, or it wasn't done right. And that's what it comes out to be.
Well, we'll never listen. The answer is always going. We'll never know because this NBA stepped in and said, "Well, somebody's got to go," and then we're bringing Mike. Then we had to bring in Brian Colangelo because they weren't happy. Because the stupid thing is, the Sixers came out and said, "Well, we're going to tank on purpose. Just tank."
Right.
And the second you rub the NBA's face in the pile of dog poop right there, they're going to be like, all right, you want to rub our face in it? Well, we're going to have to do something. Adios.
And I don't think it's fair, though, because you know why? It wasn't until the Sixers started doing it when we all know that there was other teams that did it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, Christ.
Spurs.
You can always go back. Oh, here we go. Stop being an apologist for him. You really are. You're an apologist for Embiid. Get him out of here. I'm tired of hearing.
He's Embiid's publicist?
Yes, he is. He is. Getting Embiid out of here will get the Sixers out of cap hell.
Well, if you guys weren't awake now, we're awake now.
Yeah, okay, what it'll do, it'll get the Sixers out of cap hell. It'll get them back some necessary draft picks that they lost, giving up for Ben Simmons, and they can write their future. And this bum can go sit somewhere else and try to win a championship with 4 other All-Stars. That's what you can do. Yeah, the
And it's-
Sixers
and-
they're
and
going to
it's-
take a step back, but so be it. Get them out of here. You're not going to win with them. If you can't win with them, get something for them while you still can. But knowing this Sixers team and this Sixers organization, this dude will break his feet, break his face, and then you ain't going to get nothing for him.
Like you said, Mike.
Play
Yeah,
all the-
He's already
something. Now, look, he already went on
What are you
someone's
going
show.
to get? What are you going to get? Tell me one team right now. Because first part, Daryl Morey, give him credit where credit's due, doesn't want to just give this guy up for a bag of balls. Because at that point, it was a waste of everything. A waste of a
He's your
first-round pick
boardwalk.
on Ben Simmons. A waste of a trade with Ben Simmons. If you do all that. So I don't blame Daryl Morey. And maybe that's it. Maybe Daryl Morey's just like, listen, you got to give me a chance. We're playing the game. I'm trying to trade you. Just give me a moment. I'm not giving you away for a bag of balls. This is BS. But hey, it's not my fault your stock freaking plummeted. You showed up small. Yeah, you had some big games. You scored 40-plus points in 2 games, led the team to victory. But guess what? There was no elimination sitting on your back at the time. You came up small. The only difference between you and Ben Simmons at this point is you faked it out. You were able to fake your way through it and make some shots. We just knew from the get this guy was small with Ben Simmons. Now you got this guy, James Harden, who thinks he's worth $1 million and he ain't worth a postage stamp at this point because ain't nobody taking a flyer on this guy unless it's for a bag of balls and a broken washing machine. Because that is what they're going to get.
Exactly. And Al's got a great point. This is what I'm saying. And this is where I don't want it to get with Embiid. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. This is the time. Like, again, Sixer fans, you can't have it both ways. You can't be boasting your chest out saying he's the MVP of the league, and then you're sitting back saying you're not going to get nothing for him, which is what I heard right here in this studio. Well, during his MVP run a year ago, we all sat in here, and I got told by 3/4 of the table that I was nuts for wanting to trade him, but yet they were all their chests were all out and puffed. He's the MVP. You can't have it both ways. He can't be the MVP and then say you're not going to get nothing for him. Kevin Durant.
Well, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about Harden.
No, I was doing my rant about Embiid answering Gus. Gotcha. But Harden, if nobody else wanted to pay the man, what else can you expect to get? Right now, I would take a donkey, a side road show, and a couple kickballs for James Harden. I don't care. Get him out. He's a cancer.
Yeah, but hold on. I agree with you to a point because I'm angry. But I'm also not a bad businessman. So, again, I think Daryl Morey, I think there's a lot of mistakes on both sides. And I actually, in my first tweet when it went down, my first tweet came out, I was putting more blame on Daryl Morey because I felt like it was the kind of situation where he lied to him. And hence why he jumped out. I was actually siding with James Harden a little bit. But, Dives is saying here he would rather eat his contract. The NBA is about to step in, they said. I don't know if they already did or they're looking into something. But with the new CBA, see, James Harden's playing this. He's playing this close to the chest, a little Russian roulette. All right, he's banging on that revolver right now because if he decides I'm making things uncomfortable, he decides to become a malcontent, or he decides to not play. His future in the NBA could be right down. He's no youngster, and his free agency goes right out the window. So if it's going to come down, listen, it's dollars and cents, bro, in the long run. It ain't about Philly. It ain't about winning championships. It ain't about the fan base that puts their heart and soul into it. It's about dollars and cents. So that's all he's worried about. So sooner or later, he's either going to have to eat crow, be sorry, move on, and you know what? And the funny thing is, right before this went down, and everybody was talking about the whole Trey Turner thing, and everybody's like, listen, I'll get behind something. I was even like, you know what? I was doing when I did my own show, I said, I'll get behind James Harden. I said, I get behind him. If he's willing to put it out there and work his ass off and not come up small and not worry about going and get a lappy dance, I'll get behind him.
Well, that's
why people got behind Trey Turner, because he was in the batting cages.
Well, and
he was trying to work on it. He owned it. This man hasn't owned shit.
Nope.
Well, that's like I said, that's been his issue. Again, he saw the writing on the wall. Like, he figured, again, this problem has been going on actually since December, right? There's rumors that Harden wants to go back to Houston. He probably saw it that, he can't play here. He can't play here. Again, he was leading the league in assists, but he knows he's got an expiration date on him. He knows himself. He knows his age and all this other. He can only take you so far, right? We saw Game 6 and Game 7. Just stood there on the perimeter, did nothing. So he probably figured I could go back to Houston, be a big time ticket sale, get a nice contract.
God, here's Josh banging the drum.
Hold on.
For him.
And here goes the thing about Harden. Nobody wants him. Like nobody on a rebuilding team. No, and he wanted to go back to LA in the Clippers. Clippers don't want you. Nobody wants you.
Oh no! Don't take them.
So if you were smart, if you were Harden, and if you want to make your trade value of somewhat, I would have kept my mouth closed. I would have continued playing the facilitating role to Embiid, and like you said, Al, maybe they see him being a problem. Maybe they know about where he likes to hang out. After
he forced himself out of 3.
No, but I'm just saying, like people like to see him out. Not be part of hanging at strip clubs. Like, you're taking your young talent and taking them in places where they should be focusing on the game, going X's and O's, staying in a hotel room, not going partying up. I'm not saying you can't have a life outside.
Listen, I don't mind if you go and party things up. It's if you can mentally just handle both. If you can switch, flick that switch in the back of your head, you can go get all the handy J's and all the strip clubs that you want if it makes you play better. I don't care. It's the moment that it becomes more important
than the game itself.
Yeah.
And here goes the question to Gus. Gus, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you move on for Embiid, then you're going to say the process was a failure. And that's what it's become. And that's, again, it goes back to square one. The process was a failure.
There is no process anymore. The NBA eliminated that. If not, the Sixers would still be doing it. There is no going back to the process. So yes, you can get rid of Embiid. Again, you guys are talking out of both sides of your mouth. You can't sit there and say he's the MVP and pump your chest and then say, what trade do we get for him?
I'm not saying we can't trade for Embiid.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, if you start shopping Embiid right now, your phone's ringing off the hook.
Yes.
You're telling me a team like Miami who are one step away.
According to Gus, there's no other team in the league. There's no other players that we can bring in here that would value Embiid.
I said earlier this year, after the NBA season ended the way it ended, I said, this is the time you're going to get the most value for him. He's coming off a MVP season, and you tell me the Knicks wouldn't want him. Any team in the NBA who wants to win anything would take him.
Right now, and again,
trying to bring him to LA or something.
This is the time that you can get back a king's ransom for him. I'm sorry, but the process, some of the things in the process I didn't like is what this guy Maury has had to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's traded away so many of our draft picks, and you're sitting there saying, "Oh, well, you can't get it." Like, you don't know what the Sixers.
Again, back. And then he said himself, if I like to win a championship, whether Philly or somewhere else. So he's already giving you a time. He's already giving you a window. Maybe 2023, 24 season is it here in Philly.
Well, this is
that's
the immaturity in Embiid.
Right.
That is the one sticking point. Like,
I'm tired of hearing about that too. The dude's almost 30.
Well, no, I'm saying he could be 30. Listen, I know 40, 50-year-olds are immature a-holes. I mean, it is what it is. He's trolling Embiid. It's like, he's like, look at me. Stop worrying about everything else that's going on. Look at me. I'm going to change my status on Facebook or on Twitter, and then
get people talking.
But then I'm going to say, "Go Union, Philly Town," here, whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's like, stop worrying about James and everybody else. Yes, what about me?
But my thing is, so he's already giving you a window, and of course, he would like to have that remarriage of him and Jimmy Butler. Maybe he feels like he could get Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler always gets to the NBA Finals now. He's been there two out of four times. He's collapsed in the last 4 years. So he probably feels like he could get Jimmy Butler over the hump. He knows he probably could take it to the Joker. Right now, he figures, the Nuggets are the team to beat right now. He probably figures he could go down South Beach, team up with Jimmy Butler before Jimmy Butler hangs up and he called himself a day. So, like you said, maybe you get a haul back from Miami. What do you want from Miami? So, you're going to have to work that out. So,
everybody's just assuming Miami. Like, as far as that whole Jimmy Butler thing, Jimmy Butler's got a year left on his contract. This is his last year down there. He only signed for 4 years. So Butler's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So I wouldn't be appalled with the Sixers doing a I guess a reunitement of
And-
Butler with him, with Embiid. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen down in South Beach. I really don't. That would have to be if they trade him down there this year.
Right.
But it doesn't matter who the Sixers offer Embiid to. Okay, they're going to get a boatload back. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sorry, like these Sixer fans think, oh well, what's going to happen? Like, he's got a limited shelf life left. He's almost 30 years old.
And like you said, Mike,
How many more years do you think he's going to go?
Mike, like you
Maybe
said,
4?
Mike, like you said, knock on wood, you had 2 successful years with the guy. And last year there was no excuse for him. You know,
What
no-
if they won? Like my whole thing
No,
is
no.
these people act like these Sixers are untouchable.
you want to know? I mean,
Like, what if they won? It's the same shit over and over again.
Yeah,
Pardon my
yeah.
language, but it's the same stuff over and over again. They get to the second round, they get bounced. What has Embiid done?
Well, that's the thing. My thing is, the guy has game, for the past few years in postseason, his face hurts. Oh, his condition hurts. Oh, this hurts. His
It's only
push
got
deal
broke
hurts.
his face
You
twice.
know, all this other stuff. Last year there was no excuses. You flat out collapsed to the Boston Celtics. Flat out.
The Celtics were ready to give up Game 6, and you let them hang around. You let them hang around.
Yeah.
You let them win.
Yeah.
I'm not
100% agree.
hearing that. Like, I don't want to hear nothing from any Sixers fan talking about that game. That game they were begging to be put away, and you let them off the hook, and then you did
If
not.
anything, you gave them CPR and put life into their
Yeah,
chest.
exactly. And no, they didn't put life in their chest because what happened was Game 7 rolled around, and the 2 biggest guys that everybody's bitching and complaining about how what do we do if we get rid of them? They didn't show up. The one guy that everybody bitches and complains about, and is always on the damn trade market, is Tobias Harris. That dude showed up. He had one bad game in all the playoff games. One bad game.
So I mean, like I said,
But Sixers don't want him.
and it's crazy because, like, I want to go back to a comment that Diaz made. Like, the excitement level right now for the Phils, for the Eagles, are high. If again, Union coming out, getting ready to start their second half of the season.
Listen, even the Flyers have excitement, and
the Flyers,
we know that they're going to be a 20-win team, if that.
right? But
There's excitement.
There's excitement because there's a direction. Finally,
Sixers,
there's a front office with direction. The Sixers,
I need about a 55-gallon jug of coffee,
and I need some preparation H. So, that's the thing with the Sixers. Like, the Sixers, like, there's no excitement level. Like, this whole summer, like, there hasn't been like that all-season movie you look towards. It's been drama, like Di said. It's been drama after drama after drama. Okay, you brought Nick Nurse. Guess what that done for everyone? Whoop-de-doo. And the guy's got a championship resume. He's got a championship on his resume, and nobody cares because everyone sees, oh, he's going to be this kick-in-the-pants kind of coach.
Yep. And
guess what? Those coaches in Philadelphia last about for 15 minutes. I've seen them come and go. Do we not have AV about for what?
Hold on.
Do we not have
wait a minute.
Doc? I've seen Doc in people's ears all last year.
Pat.
What my pants are down?
Pat, you're going off the rails.
The rails.
We did. We do have one now with Tortorella. Torella's a little bit of a nut.
No, hold on. Let me go back to that because Torella's
I'm
not
pushing
enough.
back on the Doc thing. No, Doc was not a kick in the pants.
Not if anything.
But I did see him in the years. But and John Tortorella is more. I wouldn't say more. He's more of a father type kind of. He's more mature, where he's not that hot headed.
No, he's still a hothead.
No, but the way
the media. Yeah, he's
he wants to punch. If anyone wants not against the media, but if anything,
I can't wait till you go down there and ask him a question. He punches you in the face.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
That's going to be great. I might even put him up to it.
Great. You want to punch me in the throat?
Yep.
Listen, I mean, but the guy's really took. He's been precautious with this Flyers team, but everyone's been talking about these kick in the pants kind of coaches, and it just doesn't work out, especially in the NBA.
All right, let's stop for a second. I'm not worried about if he's a kick in the pants coach. There's a difference. I think he's a coach that holds guys more accountable and gives them shorter leashes than other people. He's willing to play young guys who are going to play well over old guys who aren't. I think there's a difference between a guy who's just a guy who come over and kick over the Gatorade jug every so often and have a coronary in the middle of the court. There's a difference. My point is, you can have a league of Nick nurses come in. It doesn't make it. You need Nick doctors to resuscitate this dying organization, because that's the problem that everybody's missing in this situation.
And that's a part of the
hold on. This organization has sat here and allowed this thing to be on life support, allow this drama. This is like, for a wrestling guy like you, this is like the end of WCW, when they just let everybody run rampant and do whatever the hell they felt like. And they lost control. Now they're trying to grab the bull by the horns and steer it back on the track. Guess what? It ain't. And it's sickening.
This organization.
Sickening that do you think Jeff Lurie, do you think John Middleton would sit here and allow this to happen inside the organization?
Jeffrey Lurie, no. John Middleton, yeah.
Well, then
have they?
Well, they're going
You should think that, though.
Yeah.
Well,
because they went 11 years without making the postseason. So yeah, and Middleton was the majority owner.
Al,
but not because of some.
Yeah, but Al, you kind of nailed
jackass in the background.
No,
I'm talking about letting the team take over and do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, but Al, you kind of nailed it though. You're talking about ownership, right? Look what the ownership's trying to do. He's just trying to buy teams. He could care less. He has Scott O'Neill running that front office or whoever.
But who? I don't know, Pat. Who's running the Sixers? It could be
James Harden.
It could be you. It could be Pat freaking Bernard.
And that guy's an idiot.
Pat, I mean, listen, right now, in that room, you might look like a genius.
Needs an enema, pretty much.
An enema attached to a pipe bomb, man. Right? Oh, my God.
Listen,
that's terrible.
If you follow, and Mike brings up a valid point here, I think Harris purchases these teams, and he takes them on as a project. If you remember, he bought the Devils first, right?
Yeah.
Got the Devils kind of going in the right direction. Then he buys the Sixers, gets the Sixers going in the right direction. Now you see the Devils are he's got the right people running the Devils. Devils are pretty decent. Now I think that could possibly start happening with the Sixers. Now, possibly.
Yeah,
he's got to get the right people. So now all his focus is going to be on the Commanders. And I think that's right. Because if you take a look at it, but it's not just Josh Harris, though. I mean, it's Magic Johnson, couple other people that are also involved with that. So
yeah, Magic Johnson's saying, "What the hell's going on with Philly?" I mean, it's just crazy. This story.
It's going to pass Piscadillo over here.
Oh, my Piscadillo's shriveled up. I'm peeing on my own. Never mind. But anyway, listen.
Do we have a commercial we got to go to?
Listen,
I don't know.
It's just a shame because we love this Sixers team, and we thought for so many years this was going to be the year.
Yeah,
this is going to be the, and it's nothing.
It went from a love to a strong dislike. Like, I'm not going to watch the Sixers this year. I refuse to watch them.
I can't say that. I'll be plugged in. I mean, as much as I'm going to sit here and complain.
God bless you.
Yeah, they're going to be on my TV.
I'll refer to you every Sunday when we talk about them.
Yeah,
to me, they're not doing that. They're just self-destructing. It's just going down a rabbit hole. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's going to be. It's going to end. We're going to end up.
I know, Mike. You don't want to watch the Sixers until about May, and then your questions get answered right there. You know what I mean? But I have to watch because I still want to see.
Are you going to watch on Christmas Day? I mean, I might watch on Christmas Day because they're on after the Eagles.
I mean,
gives me something to do.
Listen. Like I said, the development of Maxey though, I can't turn away from. You know what I mean? But it's a shame.
You guys forgot the process started about 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago. And Steve brings up a good point. They should do a study of how many days, weeks, months, years being a Sixers fan takes off the average fan's lifespan. Absolutely. And here's the thing is, like, if you live to the average age of, say, 75, it takes about 1/7 of your life away.
Right.
Probably. Being a Philadelphia sports fan in general.
This has taken 1/7 of our lifespan away. We sit there and talk about the Flyers, and Flyers have, like, lived off the 70s back-to-back cups and haven't done much since. Sixers are no better.
Yeah, they're 86 or
83. I was about 3 months old when it went down. 6 months old at most when it went down. I'm 40 years old, God.
So are you? Let me ask you.
The other moment in my lifespan that was worth watching was 2001.
Let me, and if it takes you, I mean, and Sixers fans might not want to hear this, but we might have to do another whole rebuild. And I hate, like I said, the rise.
No, I
and
don't-
I'm with the guys here. The rise of Tyrese Maxey and Paul Reed will be having me watch, and I'm with you guys. I mean, the Paul Reed and Maxey are much watch TV, but I mean, should they go the Flyers route right now? Like, do they need to go to a rebuild mode? Because I mean, as much you don't want to.
because in the current NBA, you can literally buy your way back into a championship. Yeah, there's a cap, but I mean, it's not.
I mean,
not
look,
a hard cap.
just even like it took time, but I mean, like we've seen it. Like the Knicks have stunk for years, but they're becoming building blocks and they're
Look,
building right.
Mike brings up a point. He said the Sixers will be up for
No,
sale.
they won't. I mean, unfortunately, they won't. I wish they would, Mike, but that's not going to happen. Just like we were hoping Comcast would sell the Flyers.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No,
Listen, if the owners just want to be the guys who buy teams and travel about the country, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But put the right assholes in the right place at the right time. Like that's my point. You got moron upon jackass running the place.
right,
You got who's our GM, by the way?
right.
Who's our GM? No, answer the question.
Elton Brand.
Elton Brand.
Right.
What the hell was the last thing Elton Brand has done for this team? I didn't even know. We ever talk about Elton Brand?
No,
He's sitting there.
He's quiet.
He's sitting there collecting the paycheck.
Daryl Morey.
But why? Why have this jackass doing nothing? And you got Daryl Morey, who hasn't done anything. Listen, here's a guy in Houston who stroked himself over mediocrity.
Right. And that's what I think.
You got James Harden in his prime. You had Brian.
Steve Francis.
You had Westbrook in his prime. You had what else did they have?
No, they didn't have one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
With the Hugh Rockets?
No, it was Steve Francis.
no. I mean, as far as
No,
talent,
I'm thinking about with Thunder. Was he with the Thunder?
Yeah,
Thunder.
The Thunder.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, it's my point is the organization is ran the way it is. There's no accountability. Nick Nurse isn't going to change anything.
that's what I'm saying. Like, whoop-de-doo when he came here. Whoop-de-doo when Nick Nurse.
Listen, I like Nick Nurse.
And I like him too. He's got a resume. But again, whoop-de-doo when you got this problem that needs to be resolved. And there's no resolving. There's no resolving it.
All right, so Steve, somebody else brought this up earlier. 2024, Dives even said we're banking on bringing some free agents 2024. That's the last hurrah of the process. And is that part of the problem with James? Did James start getting upset because people are like, we're going to run it back with the same team, and nobody was happy about that? And that's another reason they want to sign James. You're going to have James off the books. You're going to have Tobias Harris off the books. You're going to have a lot of cap space and a lot of good free agents available. And I don't think James took too kindly to that situation.
I don't care. Like the way I look at it, the way he performed in those playoff games, Daryl Morey's got a right to change his mind.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like me and you could talk about, I'll buy you a hoagie, and if I'm sitting down and you're scarfing down 2 hoagies and didn't offer me any, I have the right to go back and go, well, dude, you had 2 hoagies. I'm not gonna buy you one.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't care either.
Right. Of course not. That's more meat for you. But
I thought Uncle Elton did a good job with the 87ers. Yeah, well,
This ain't the blue coats.
That and a cup of coffee are going to get you nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Pat just channeled his inner Eric Coleman. Whoop-de-damn do. I don't know, guys. Cup of coffee be damned. I'm awake.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get hungry. I say we get out of here.
Yeah. Listen, we're going ready to wrap up the show. But Mike, final prediction for the Phils today. What do you have?
Zach Wheeler's pitching. I'm going to say 6-3 Phillies. Wheeler goes 7, strikes out 9. I think he has a dominant performance today. And I like your boy Kyle Schwarber to go yard tonight. I think he goes yard.
I hope he ends up in the Little League yard. It hits so hard.
And I think Bryce goes deep too. Tonight, in front of the nation, I think our stars shine.
All right. Al, what do you have?
Yeah, I think Wheeler's he will step up to the moment. I mean, it may not be I worry about the bats getting cold after the the thwopping they put on. Yeah, it's a word, thwopping. They put on in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
Have vocabulary. You wanna write that one
It's
down?
not a real word. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it.
Well, I make
Shut up.
my
You
own
shouldn't
words.
let him do it because
Yeah.
he'd be using it all
Yeah.
over the place.
I'm
I
gonna
think
use
that
that
was a
word tomorrow.
character in Mario Brothers. Look it up. Swamp. THWOMP. Look it up.
Write that down.
You know, and this is a good point, Steve. The Washington Penn is gassed. 13-3 Phils. I sure hope so. It's just I just hope it doesn't. You know, we just the load's left in Washington. Can't bring it to Williamsport with them. That's what I worry about.
I think Wheeler will give you about 4 or 5 innings. You'll go to the bullpen.
4 or 5.
4 or 5 innings.
You're not
Dude, he's been averaging 7 the last 5 starts. He's going to give you at least 7.
So you're not expecting a great outing from him.
No.
Ooh,
But I do feel that the bats
I
will
think
come alive.
Pat's negativity was so high after that last conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
I do believe that.
I think he would begrudgingly eat a hoagie right now.
I think Turner's going to turn it up again. I think the Phillies win 7-4.
7-4, but only about 4 or 5 innings for Wheeler.
Because I think that's when he collapses, and that's when things get
collapses, man.
Yeah, I think that's when things get
If
hairy.
he's our guy collapsing, we're in trouble in the postseason.
Yeah, I think I think things get hairy and shavy. So anyway, anyway, let's get out of here because I'm
Harry
running.
and all right, just let it
All right,
go.
guys, don't
Cal,
forget.
let it go.
Tonight, don't forget to check out our boys, Double G, Double S, Double M.
No, right after us at
Oh,
11.
they're at 11 today. Oh, they even better.
I have to check the schedule because they are always
because of the Phillies post game, right? Gary's out somewhere.
Gary had something. He's in it for a couple weeks. I think tonight is the last night, and they'll be back to their 9 o'clock slot.
Yeah.
Or they could be at 9 o'clock tonight. Because you know what? Honestly, I'm looking right now. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. They have it slotted. 11 a.m. So they'll be on right.
All right, so they're getting ready to follow us, and then you got Matty B doing the post game tonight.
You got Matty B doing the post game, and guys, if you don't know, Matty B has a new time slot tomorrow, 9 p.m. Matty on Mondays. I love it. I love Matty on Mondays.
Oh, if you guys want to see, show you all the hard work going on over here.
Oh, look at that.
And we're not even into the Eagles' full season yet. We're not even into the Flyers and Sixers yet. And that is what you're looking at on a weekly basis here at EOP for the most part. Maybe a show or two missing in there. But for the most part, that is what's going on. So, boys, take a good look at it. I'm talking about you guys in front of me. Take a good look at that, and all the hard work you guys have been doing is paying off real well. So check it out, Edge of Philly Sports, EOPsports.com, and all the social media outlets that you want and wish for.
Yep. Thursday night, I'll be doing I'll be leading you guys into Eagles Colts.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you tune in then. But for the big guy, the big producer, Al Safiri, for the sausage swallower, Pat Pinot,
Yum, 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 yum.
I'm Mike Laura. See you later.